In this video, we're going to talk why it's an illusion to get your own house and why your house is not your house, is someone else's house, is the government's house. I think in the whole world is the same thing. So if I'm mistaken, please let me know. If there is another country that you don't have to follow any of those things that I'm going to talk about now. So in this case, why the illusion of having your own house? So in this case, we're going to talk about regulations, taxes, or you are out. Government can kick you out at any time, and regulations, cars, RV, and trailers, everything that you have in your backyard. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience, about experience that I had with the customers and what they told me. So basically, when you buy a house, or a piece of land or anything like that, is never yours. You have a title that says maybe a certificate of a title, but it's not the title. The title is at the government's house or building. So let's talk about a regulation. How regulation? So when you're going to build a house, you have to build the house following certain codes. Otherwise, the government, like I said before, the house is not yours. It belongs to the government. You're building a house for the government, so that way, once you die, they can take it and give it to someone else, or do the same thing all over again. So basically, when you buy a house, you have to follow the regulations. You have to present blueprints. You have to do the electric installation if you want to have electricity, following their codes, the gas, water lines, and everything. And if you don't do that, they don't approve it, and then they don't allow you to have the house. So I was watching a video, I think it was like a year ago, and I found this video. It was like a family, a couple and maybe a few kids, and they bought a house in the middle of nowhere. So in the middle, there was nothing around it. So, and they start because they are green people, they wanted to reuse or utilize whatever they had at their disposal without, creating more waste and anything like that. So they use the dirt, water, and they try to create the walls like that. Maybe some lumber from another place that they was given to them or something like that, and they built this beautiful house. I mean, this video has, I think, a few millions of views, and I mean, everything look very nice. I mean, after a while, they start having some issues. The government start, annoying them, saying, okay, you cannot have that house. The house, it doesn't meet our codes and everything like that. And they say, well, we are not going to sell these houses. The house is for us, and we take, full responsibility of whatever is going to happen. And this is how it should be. So at least it's my personal thinking, So if you're going to build a house, let the market decide what house are going to be, let decide the people what they want to do with their life. So if you want to build your own house, the way you want it, you assume, or you assume your own risk. Also, if something happens with the house and you get, injured or something like that, it's all on you. It's all your fault. So if let's say you have the market, and the market say, okay, you know what? Most of the people, or at least a grand percentage, surely they want to follow what the government says, right? So if the people wants to buy houses that follow or meet all the criteria, the government criteria, yes, they can do it. I mean, but when you buy the house, let's say that you don't want any of that, or maybe you like, the house that is made of dirt or something like that, instead of, just the regular houses, you should be able to get those type of houses as well. So you're going to assume, you can sign a paperwork maybe with the government saying, okay, I assume if I die here in this house, or I'm injured, or get injured or something like that, it's all my fault. But you should let the people decide. It's the same thing like smoking or drinking or something like that. Yes, in the cigarette, in the packet it says, you can, if you smoke, you can get cancer or something like that. Some countries, they put even countries of, I mean, they put a picture of sick people and all the thing, to decrease the amount of smokers or anything like that. But everyone they have their freedom. If they want to smoke and they want to die sooner, is their problem. So the same thing here. So at least that is my thought. That is how the government should not intervene in the people's lives. So people should be able to decide what they want to do. The government can suggest and say, okay, yes, you the mask, and you will be happy, or or anything like that. We recommend you to do that. But if you don't want to follow the instructions or mandates or anything like that, it's on you. It's not on us. Let's talk about the next steps. For instance, no taxes or you out. So basically, if you're not paying the taxes, you're going to see the real owner. The owner is the government always. If you have a land, you have a house and a land, anything like that, you don't pay taxes, you're out. It doesn't matter even if you put a lot of time in your house and you're in love with your house. Your house is perfect. You have been working on your house, I don't know, for the last 20 years or something like that. You build it yourself and everything. It doesn't matter. The government doesn't care. If you don't pay, you're out. The next one is government can kick you out at any time. So what it means, for instance, I was living in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. There is a neighborhood called Saavedra. And in this neighborhood, there was like a lot of houses that they were teared down. And they wanted to build some freeway or something like that. And they knocked down all those houses for nothing. And after years and years and years, the land was free. There was nothing. Just it was a waste of resources, and they kick out all those people, for nothing. And just in the last few years, they built like a wider avenue, and that's it. I mean, the government, they waste all the resources, the fiat that they had with them, and they couldn't build the freeway, and that's it. So here in US, same thing. I went to Kentucky. I went to this customer. He hired me to replace the water heater. And I said, okay, I see that you are having this issue here and here too. Will you like me to fix those? And he said, no, don't worry. I'm replacing just the water heater because in a year I will have to leave. The government is kicking me out of this house because they are building, I don't know, like a shopping mall or a freeway or something like that. So he had to leave. There was no option, no matter what, he had to leave. So like I said, again, this happens everywhere. So no matter what, if you want to leave or not, they are going to kick you out. So here you have the other option. Here the last point. So regulations about cars, RVs, and trailers. For instance, in this land that I bought, so in this house I have a big backyard, and I have a small trailer, like a utility trailer, and I have a truck and few other stuff. And I was talking with a guy, that works in the city. I say, hey, can I buy another trailer? And he said, nope, you can have only one trailer, or you can have the trailer, or you can have the RV. You cannot have the trailer and the RV. What about working on my cars? I have like 3 or 4 cars. It doesn't matter. He said, well, if you want to work on your car, maybe 2 times a week, that is the time that you can work on your cars, and that's it. You cannot work every day. It doesn't matter. These are the rules. That is what you have to follow. I don't know if they can enforce them, because they have to prove that you have been working more than 2 days in a row or something like that. This is a big pain because, I mean, what if you want to have 2 utility trailers? Why can you have only one? I mean, why, you cannot do anything in your house? I mean, this is terrible. It's not even your house. I mean, you have to follow everything that they say. If you want to have, for instance, a fence, a little bit higher than 6 feet, you want, let's say 7, no, it have to be 6. You cannot have a 7. You have to get a permit just for the fence. You have to get the permit for the driveway. You have to get the permit, for everything. Nothing is yours. you have to get permission to the government for everything. You know, you have to reverence them as like they were like is superior. So it sucks, but that is how it works in the most of the countries around the world. So remember, you're a slave. Slave don't have rights. So the only thing that you can do is manage whatever they allow you to have. And if they say, well, you know, you cannot have a driver's license, you didn't pay child support, or maybe something else, you're screwed. So I know a few people that when I used to drive for Uber, and I heard stories like that. You know, the passenger was saying, yeah, I cannot drive because, you know, I couldn't, got fired, or he lost his job, or whatever is the reason he couldn't pay, you know, the child support or anything like that. He was, you know, like late for a few months, and they removed his privilege of driver's license, like, you know, fishing licenses, and all the things. So it sucks, but it's like that. So hopefully this video was useful. If you have any thoughts about this video, please let me know in the section below, and talk to you next time.